Welcome to PM Movie Recaps. Today's pick is a horror and thriller of 2019, The Furies. If you're ready, let's enjoy the video. The film opens in a gloomy jungle where a woman is being chased by a blood-spattered axe-wielding masked man. While she is running, her leg hits a broken tree branch and she falls. The terrified girl shivers as the masked man slowly approaches her. However, a man jumps at him out of nowhere. The two start fighting after an intense fight. The second man manages to cut out his lungs with an axe. He then kidnaps the woman as she falls unconscious. In the next scene, we see two best friends, Kayla and Maddie, spray painting a wall near Down Street in the dark of the night. As they paint, the two talk about their fears. The discussion turns into an argument. When Maddie claims to be Kali's babysitter, which greatly offends her. Kayla cries and heads home. Meanwhile, Maddie is captured by a masked man, and she starts screaming Kayla's name for help. Kayla runs toward the voice but can't find her. It's almost dusk. Now Kayla is trapped in a box that has some sort of a noisy siren which is making her go insane. Kayla somehow manages to pull herself out of the box and realizes that her eyes are bleeding. She is still unsure about Maddie and continues her search, walking all alone in the jungle. While looking for her, Kayla finds a man's corpse. She panics and starts screaming for help. Suddenly, two other girls grab her from behind and tell her to remain silent and hide. The girls introduce themselves as Alice and China. They ask her whether she had her phone with her. Kayla, in a state of stress and fear, runs off. Alice and China decide to follow her. Kayla goes back to the place where she had been trapped and starts searching for her things, but there's nothing there except for the box itself. She sits on the mud and a few minutes later passes out. Once she awakens, she starts talking about her illness, epilepsy, and starts looking for her pills. Meanwhile, the masked man carrying a giant axe is seen walking towards them. Alice and Kayla decide to stick together and begin to follow China's tracks while trying to look for a way out of that hellhole. They come across another box, the same as theirs. Every box has a label on it. The label on this box says Beast 6. On their left side they discover the masked man holding the axe tightly in both his hands. For a moment, Alice and Kayla freeze. They slowly move behind the box to hide. The masked man begins walking towards them. Alice and Kayla can hear his heavy footsteps. Just in time, Alice throws a wooden branch towards them. Kayla starts having a seizure, which terrifies Alice. After this, Kayla goes unconscious again. Alice leaves Kayla there and tries to save herself. She starts running as fast as she can. The masked man chases her. Suddenly the masked man throws his axe at her, but he misses, and the axe hits a tree in front of her. Alice tries to take the axe to defend herself, but the masked man strikes her in the face with his axe and peels off her skin, killing her on the spot. Kayla opens her eyes and rushes to find Alice, but she discovers her corpse instead. She then starts trying to find a way out. All she sees is barren land with the scorching heat of the sun. She walks and runs, but the land is never ending. Suddenly, she hears a similar siren from somewhere ahead. The siren starts to make her go mad. She hears the screams of another girl who is being chased by the same masked man. As she begs for help, the man throws his axe at her, which hits her right in the back. The man then pulls his axe from her back. Kayla tries to stop him from killing her, but surprisingly he waves at Kayla. Suddenly another masked man appears and starts to barbarically fight the first one. Kayla sees the opportunity to save the girl. She gently helps her up during this time. The second man kills the first. Kayla hides the other girl in an open tree wrap and covers it with dry grass. She tells her to stay under cover while she gets some help. However, her blood drops lead the masked man towards her and he drags her away. As Kayla is desperately running around in the jungle looking for help, the masked man drags the girl to a tree and drops her. He then forcefully ties both her hands around the tree until her arms break off. Kayla runs into another man with a sheep mask. She fights him back bravely, but he blows his face off. She runs back for the girl, but only finds her mutilated corpse. Kayla realizes she is on her own. Now she continues to walk, holding the axe in her hands. She comes across a place with some old abandoned houses. She enters one of them and finds dangerous weapons inside. She feels a presence around her and impulsively attacks. However, it is revealed that she accidentally killed a harmless girl. Subsequently, China enters the house with a girl named Rose. Kayla tries to explain that what happened was not her fault. It was an accident. China nears Kayla, takes the axe out of her hands and asks Rose to stay there. As she leaves the house, Kayla develops another epilepsy attack. Kayla dreams about Maddie while she's unconscious. When she opens her eyes, she finds Rose beside her. Rose is scared and upset, since she's feeling like she's left all alone. Kayla tells Rose that she's not alone and shares her dream about Maddie with her. Rose interrupts Kayla and tells her about a dream which was quite similar to Kayla's. Kayla pieces together that they're part of some dangerous game. She concludes that someone has planned all this. She stands up and extracts the left eye of the girl she accidentally killed. What she sees is quite fascinating. The eye is covered with electric wires. She holds Rose tightly and stared straight into her eyes. She says that they're being monitored. Rose, however, thinks Kayla has gone insane. A terrified China rushes into the house and closes the door. Rose boosts up with hope as she sees China. China sees the eye on the floor which Kayla had taken out from her friend's body and freaks out. She starts screaming at Kayla, who tries to tell her that they're being watched by some people. She tries to explain to her the whole idea regarding the game and shows her the wired eye. China thus also realizes what it's all about. Meanwhile, the masked man comes near the house and moves in their direction. The three hide as fast as they can. The man scratches the walls with a knife while walking. The terrified girls watch from their places of hiding. As the man enters the house, he slowly searches the place. Rose panics and the man discovers her and brutally drags her away by her hair. Kayla screams and calls to China. Kayla attacks the man fearlessly with a thick wooden stick, while she throws an axe at him. The man pulls himself together and fights back. Both Kayla and China fight him together. Quite shockingly, the man runs away. China starts wondering why he left. Kayla tells her about the sheep masked man who blew himself off. They all realize that a girl can only be saved with her protector. Each player has a masked man as her protector and only one girl will win along with her protector. As everything seems to be clear now, China narcissistically stares at Kayla and Rose. Kayla realizes China's intentions. She holds Rose's hand and makes her way out to another house. Rose seems to be scared. While Kayla takes an oath and promises she won't harm her, Kayla tells Rose that China wants to kill them as it's a lot easier for her to kill both rather than the masked man. Kayla and Rose decide to help each other. Kayla hits the lower side of the wooden walls for a way out. She crawls her way out of it. Rose tries to apply the same strategy as Kayla. Kayla holds an axe and moves forward. Rose gets stuck between some wires. She calls out for Kayla's help, but two masked men start chasing them. The man arrives by the door and grabs Rose's legs. On the other side, Kayla is trying to pull Rose out to her. Kayla tries to switch her side and enters the room from the front. She attacks the man furiously with an axe, but the man pushes her to the floor. Meanwhile, Rose attacks him from behind. Both Kayla and Rose fight off the beast and decapitate him just in time. It is revealed that another masked man is watching this whole scene. He arrives after watching Kayla go wild and screams in anger. Kayla and Rose see China through the window, who is passing by the house while holding an axe. Kayla also starts following her steadily. It is revealed that China wants to kill everyone to save herself. China tries to kill Maddie, but Kayla stops her from behind. She tries to tell her that she'll be needing backup and cover. China, however, turns out to be greedy. She knows that they're playing by the rules, kill or be killed. Kayla's protector arrives and throws his axe straight at China's head, instantly killing her. Meanwhile, Rose is captured by China's protector. Rose calls out to call for help. Kayla talks to her protector, but eventually stabs him right through his heart with an axe to save her friends. Rose is held by her neck. She tries to fight back, but the man stabs her in the hand. However, Rose doesn't give up his time. She pulls the knife from her hand and attacks him. After this, she goes to Kayla. Kayla and Rose decide to look for Maddie. Kayla holds Rose's hand and writes something on it. Just then another masked man starts following them. Kayla desperately looks for Maddie and luckily finds her under an old hut. For a moment, Kayla thinks that they made it and they're safe now, but Rose is offended. After seeing them together, she starts talking nonsense, claiming that Kayla is selfish, and she killed all the other girls just to save Maddie's life. Subsequently, another masked man, Maddie's protector, arrives with the same giant axe. Kayla stands up for everyone but unfortunately has a seizure. Rose knows the man is Maddie's protector, thus piecing together that if she kills Maddie, she and Kayla can survive. Kayla opens her eyes to find Maddie's corpse by her side. She cries and screams at Rose over killing Maddie. Rose responds by saying that she was only saving Kayla. Rose leaves Kayla there and decides to proceed on her own. Kayla, with a heavy heart, stands up and walks by the side of trees. Kayla forcefully gouges one of her eyes. She breaks the siren, which makes everyone believe that she died somewhere alone in the jungle. This whole framed act makes Rose the winner. Thus, Rose survives. Later, a man on a chair is seen watching this recorded game. The video gets stuck somewhere in the middle, which infuriates him. He makes a call using his phone. Kayla emerges from the back wearing sunglasses. She ties the man to his chair and starts interrogating him. The man claims that he doesn't know anything about the game. Kayla demands to know where he got the recording from. He tells her that he was trying to contact someone called Mike. He received all the recordings from him. He sees Kayla has gone insane and is communicating with Maddie's ghost. She then pulls a knife from her bag and kills the man. Thank you for watching, but before leaving, please make sure that you click subscribe and turn on the notification so that you can enjoy watching more videos like this.